Number 1.
This is the one website you don't want to visit. Paradise123.com has been known to give users strange encounters, and no one can explain why. When you visit the website, you will be greeted by a black screen with one question: do you want to go to paradise? Upon clicking on it, 2 doors will appear on your screen, prompting you to pick the correct door to move on to the next game. However, no one has been able to pick the right door. And what's peculiar is that users who played the game have said that upon selecting an option, a face will pop up in the corner of your screen, and that face stays with them and haunts them in their dreams. Till this day, no one knows who the creator is, or the purpose of this site. But
Number 2.
who created Stuxnet? In 2010, the computer worm virus known as Stuxnet was found to have infiltrated computers all over the world. This virus was so advanced that it was secretly spreading itself through USB drives to other systems. But strangely enough, it wasn't doing any harm, or so people thought. It turned out that Stuxnet was only targeting certain systems, namely, programmable logic controllers that are used to control factories, power plants, and nuclear reactors, tampering with their data, causing the hardware to tear itself apart, while reporting that everything was okay, bringing it down from inside. However, the virus was specifically targeting Iran's nuclear centrifuges, corrupting them, and by the time the virus was done, 1/5 of Iran's nuclear plants were destroyed. It is believed that this was a cyber weapon built by the United States and Israel to slow down Iran's nuclear progress. But because they denied allegations, many people still wonder.
Number 3.
Humans came from Mars. Recently, the NASA rover Perseverance has found organic matter suggesting that life existed on the red planet 3.5 billion years ago. Furthermore, the redness of the planet is believed to be a nuclear winter, that is a phenomenon caused by nuclear weapons being used on the planet. Well, there is a theory that human life actually started on Mars. And the reason why we're now on Earth is because we drained its natural resources and had no choice but to come to Earth. However, if you look at the current situation on Earth, it probably won't be long before Earth turns into Mars. So is it possible that?
Number 4.
How did this YouTube channel predict the future? There is a YouTube channel called 2020 Vision, where videos have been uploaded showing celebrities who passed away in the year 2020. Each video would show an eye that would blink and show the exact date which the named celebrity passed. Here's what the videos look like. It might seem like the video's purpose was to record the date of passing for each celebrity. However, the videos were published in 2017, way before any of the celebrities passed away. So, who created this channel? And
Number 5.
did these 2 men actually see Bigfoot? On October 20th, 1967, Roger Patterson and his friend Bob Gremlin were on a horseback expedition on the banks of Bluff Creek, Northern California. Suddenly, their horses were spooked by something in the distance and threw them off. They immediately took up defense positions, but this is what they saw. Even though the footage was filmed using 1960s equipment, experts till this day maintain that this footage is the most compelling evidence that Bigfoot exists. But
Number 6.
if you see the Hat Man, you better watch out. Recently on Reddit, a therapist recounted an interesting encounter that happened to her. She had been treating a patient with an interesting case of insomnia because the cause of it was Hat Man, a figure she would see at the foot of her bed every night. The therapist brushed it off as hallucinations, as other patients have also reported seeing the same thing. In a bid to treat the patient, the therapist prescribed some heavy sleep medication, and as a result, the patient started getting better. One day, the patient comes to therapy in shock, saying she saw the Hat Man standing across the street as she was getting in her car to come over. The therapist calmly explains that it could have been a side effect of the heavy medication, but was puzzled, as this was the first time Hat Man was seen during the day. However, that was the last day anyone ever saw that patient. And all the therapist can do now is warn that.
Number 7.
The English language marks the end of days. In the end of days, it is said that there will be one unified language, but we don't know what it is. Now, we all speak the English language. However, not many of us know that it's actually a Germanically derived occult-influenced language from the Spear Shakers cult, led by Sir Francis Bacon, whose agenda was to normalize witchcraft into our daily lives. This cult was actually behind the writings of the great William Shakespeare, explaining why the writing styles in all his stories were vastly different. And through the stories, they managed to introduce 1,700 new words into our daily language to trap us. Just think about how we are spelling every day, or the fact that we idolize Hollywood, which is the wood used by witches and wizards to craft their wands and staff. That continues to influence our daily lives and the words we say. The Bible says that blessings and cursings out of the same mouth, this is my brethren, ought not be. So, you might want to be careful of what you say, because
Number 8.
what actually happens when children misbehave. There's an old German folklore that talks about Krampus, a creature that's the complete opposite of Santa Claus. It's said that he has the duty of punishing misbehaving children on Christmas by stuffing them in his bag and taking them back to his lair, where the children end up getting tortured or eaten by him and his minions. In many parts of Europe, festivals have been thrown in his name to warn him off. But come Christmas, there are always many sightings of him, followed by missing children. So, do you know,
Number 9.
is the Vatican Church hiding a time machine? In 2002, a French Catholic priest named Father Francois Brune wrote that a device called the chronovisor was held deep in the archives of the Vatican. This device, using crystal technology, was said to be able to pick up unscrambled electromagnetic radiation emitted by past events, essentially allowing the user to see into the past. It was quickly confiscated and kept in the Vatican archives, as the Pope deemed it dangerous, even though the team that invented the device, consisting of Pellegrino Ornetti, Nobel Prize winner Enrico Fermi, and NASA space program scientist Wernher von Braun, were able to produce photo evidence, supposedly witnessing the crucifixion of Christ. They were quickly shut down and branded as a hoax by the church. However, soon after, a law was passed in the Vatican, stating that anyone who is caught using a time-manipulating device will be excommunicated from the church. If the chronovisor was just a hoax, why was this law passed? So,
Number 10. Number 1.
this is the one club you don't want to be a part of. Paradise123.com has been known to give users strange encounters, and no one can explain why. And many other when you visit the website, you will be greeted by a black screen with one question: their lives. Do you want to go to paradise? Upon clicking on it, 2 doors will appear on your screen, prompting you to pick the correct door to move on to the next game. For fame and however, no one has been able to pick the right door. Robert Johnson, and what's peculiar is that users who played the game, who people said that upon selecting an option, rose to fame in the span of a year up in the corner of your screen, mysterious man, and that face stays with them and haunts them in their dreams. Crossroad Blues. Till this day, no one knows who the creator is, the devil following him around, the purpose of this site. But he eventually died of a mysterious circumstance. Who created? But one thing for sure, in 2010.